This is Joe Crispin, former Penn State and professional basketball player. You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
I think you said that he could have gotten more separation.
There were some technique fundamentals in the receiver that weren't perfect in the 80s. I had to throw in a few points of criticism.
What was it like playing in March Madness? I mean, we have it going on right now.
But playing it was amazing. I mean, like, that's kind of your whole goal is to just be a part of that. It's such a special thing where the whole country is tuning in and anything is really possible, you know.
You know, my optimistic side said, like I said, that we're going to be okay. We just had a bad game. We're probably experimenting a little bit, ran into a good team. So.
If Miami came to our house, we would probably, if anything, win. We wouldn't get blown out.
When you first started playing football, you know, did you always want to play in college?
No, I was growing up. I was a big baseball guy. Loved baseball. And then 8th grade, I remember I got a call from my uncle, Coach Nagel. He's like, hey, I got the job. And I was just like, all right, I'll play football for you.
You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. It's as honest and as raw as sports talk can be. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
Hey, everybody, this is Greg Garrity.
So Anthony Lottie will punt it away from the 41. Greg Garrity is the deep man for Penn State at the 10-yard line.
Former Penn State receiver and 2016 Big Ten champion. You're listening to the best Penn State Nittany Lion podcast, the Mark Lesko Podcast.
All right, everybody. Welcome back in to another episode of the Mark Lesko Podcast, joined by Brett once again. Talk some Penn State football. Brett, how you doing?
Pretty good. I might be getting sick here, but hopefully I can battle it out. We'll see.
It's going around for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like this razor throat going around. It's a form of the Big C.
Yeah, I don't want that. So
someone close to me had it, and I got it too, but I usually don't get super sick. I just get like worn down. You know, my immune system's pretty strong. Knock on wood, doesn't happen, but yeah, we're going to get into recruiting. We got some guys this week. Some other college football stuff, but it's mainly just recruiting this week that we're getting into.
Lots happening.
We got some guys and
3 guys this past week. So
yeah, and we had a guy decommit, which is fine.
Yeah, which is fine.
You know,
because we're loaded.
We have Troy Hoon and we have Beckham Kritza. Zach Senko from Locked On, he said that he thinks Skrunkmeyer will be third string behind Jackson Sawyer.
Dylan said the same. Dylan said the same thing. He thinks that Jackson Smollett can battle him for it. It's going to be a cutthroat battle, man. So, hey, that's good. It gets them both better. So,
yeah, it's an open QB battle every year.
Yeah.
You know, that's no secret.
Yeah.
We also have Jack Lambert. So, but pretty much next couple of years, it's going to be, Aller this year. He's gone no matter what. And then it's probably, I don't know, but I would assume Grunkmeyer, and then we got Jackson Sawyer, but it would have been Bo Prabiola next year too if he would have stayed. And then we got
sorry, you were saying Jackson Sawyer. That was the defensive end from.
Yeah, Jackson Smolik.
You were talking about the DN from Ohio State, but no,
Jack Sawyer,
Smolik.
Yeah. He's on the Steelers now, but
Captain Jack,
and then Troy Hoon, Beckham Kritza. So we got some guys coming up. I mean, we're okay there.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
And there's also many other guys that we could get.
Yeah.
You know, like Ohio State, Julian Sane, Michigan has Bryce Underwood. Notre Dame, I don't know who they have. I mean, they're not really that relevant to us. They're not in the Big Ten, but
they got CJ Carr, the greatest of all time.
A lot of Notre Dame fans going at me this week. It was
per usual.
TikTok mainly. They were just going at me. Like, a couple posts had 300-400 comments. So the one video, it was just literally Brett just sitting there under Clay Travis. It was a short, and it had like 31,000 views, and it's funny because it's just Brett sitting there.
Just chilling.
Let me find it here. But yeah, 30,000 views it had. Pretty wild.
Yeah.
And then another one had 5,000. But some of those, you would think they would go viral and they don't. And then ones that you wouldn't think would go viral do. So, yeah, it's just one of those.
Turn off my.
It's just one of those kind of algorithm things, which, I don't really change anything in regard to just trying to hit the algorithm. Either it does or it doesn't. But where's the sound? I don't know how I can turn the sound on. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, dude, you're just chilling there. It's got 30,000 views. A lot of people saying they would not pay for ESPN. People are saying cable, it will still be free. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, either way, it's, that's a joke. But to get into recruiting, the first guy we can talk about is.
If we're going in order, you can do Peterson. You can do him.
Yeah, I think that's the first guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, the rich get richer. Got another tight end, which is great. We have the best tight end room in the country for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Large margin. We do.
Yeah.
It's not close.
And
it's going to continue. So. Yeah. There you go.
So, Peterson.
It's got a nice ring to it.
I guess is how you say it.
Yeah.
4-star, 2026 guy. And a lot of these guys, they end up being 5 stars too. That's one thing that, like with Denai, he didn't turn into a 5-star until after the All-Star game.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing you got to keep in mind with this is these guys can climb too. And the one lineman we got, we'll talk about.
Mm-hmm.
He is a 4-star now. He's like 6'8", 330 or something like that. But, he could be a 5-star too. These guys can climb. So you just never know.
Yeah.
You just never know what can happen. But regardless, got another tight end. So our tight end room is, Andrew Olish, Luke Reynolds, Andrew Rapplier, Pierce Peterson. We got Khalil Dinkins. I mean, that's 5 guys right there that literally could all be starters.
Joey Schlaffer, or however you say his
Schlaffer.
Yep.
I mean, that's 6 guys right there. They could literally all be starters. I mean, that's how good that tight end room is. So,
and Pierce, so he's 6'5", he's only 200 pounds. So, you can tell he looks skinny, but he's a quarterback. So, like I was telling Mark the other day, I said, this guy plays basketball at a high level. He runs track. He's a quarterback. Does that remind you of anybody? And I was like, dude, that's the Tyler Warren. That's the Tyler Warren handbook right there. Tyler Warren wasn't the fastest guy, but quarterback, basketball, same type of background, athletic freak. He's going to put on some weight. We don't need him for a couple years anyway, so he can redshirt, put some weight on with Chuck Losey. So yeah, it's a good pickup.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, overall, tight end wise, we really can't ask for much more. I mean, we pretty much have everything we need. I don't think there's a better. Well, Ty Howell. I hope he stays. I don't see him ever leaving, but he's one of those guys that could probably go on and be a coordinator.
Yeah.
Because he's that good.
He's legit.
But yeah, it's good to see. Overall, I'm pretty happy. So with that,
And he's from Minnesota, which is pretty cool. The number one recruit in Minnesota, too. So they wanted him bad, trust me. Like, Minnesota was pulling for him, but he can't pass up going to Penn State to be a tight end, obviously. But I can't remember the last player we got from Minnesota. I mean, we got a couple players from Wisconsin this past cycle. The running back Corey Smith, and then Harbor, the offensive tackle that played with him. But other than that, we haven't really pulled from Minnesota. Not that it's a huge recruiting state anyways, but it's still cool to get guys from all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Well, just to kind of throw this in here, because there's a lot of Notre Dame fans coming at me this week. They said they own PA on and off the field, and, obviously that's a joke. That's not true. They weren't joking, but 32 players all time have gone to Notre Dame from Pennsylvania. So, 500 plus players every year coming out of high school from Pennsylvania, divided by, that times what, like we'll do 20 years divided by 32. That's like, they definitely don't own PA. But they were coming at me, and I cook them as always. The one guy, he kept commenting, and he posted one of my things, and he was private, of course, so I couldn't see his page. And I said, at least let me make your page public so I can cook those guys too on your post. And I don't know if he put it on his page or if he put it on a story. I don't know, but he kept commenting, and then I just blocked him. I was like, I can't cook those people, so I'm just going to block you.
Yeah.
Commitment flip. Quarterback.
Peyton Thorne. Yeah.
Or
Peyton Valzone. I said Peyton Thorne because that was their last quarterback.
Yeah.
I like
not
Peyton.
Not a huge deal. What star was he?
He's an athletic freak. He's a 4-star, but he's not a great thrower yet. Like, he's working on his throwing. So I'll take Troy Hoon over him any day right now. So that's we don't need two quarterbacks for. They still might look for another quarterback, like you said, and they might get somebody. But I mean, good luck to him, man. Auburn's a dumpster fire of a program. I mean, good luck to him. I hope he does well. I mean, he's a PA guy, same school as Jahan Dotson, Nazareth. So good luck to him, man. He wants to play, so I can't blame him for leaving. I thought he was locked in there. It was kind of weird. It was kind of a weird flip, but hey, he's probably getting some good money right now. Because do you know what Auburn is in recruiting right now? They're like 55 or something. It's bad. Like, they're doing real bad. So they needed a win. So hey, good luck to them. They're 55th in recruiting.
Yeah, it's
we're 10th.
It's one of those things where, like, that running back that we had that committed from Alabama, he's from Alabama. So, like, you kind of understand, like, he's from Alabama. So that's not that surprising. But a guy like this who's from Pennsylvania, you would think he would, stay with us. But, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. I don't, there's really not too much you have to say about it.
No, I think it just, on my perspective on it was, I was a little shocked just because, like, it came out of nowhere, right? Like, I follow recruiting very heavily. So to just be posted and you're like, oh, he's not with Penn State anymore. Like, it was just kind of, it threw me off for a minute, but like, I was never like shook, like, oh, we're screwed now. Right. So, like, that's fine. Good luck to him.
Yeah. There's people there's people that have seen me, like, out and about, and they told me about it. And I said, we're good. Like, we got Troy Hoon coming in. And like I just said, like, we're fine. It's not a huge deal. No, it's not the end of the world. It's not something that is going to set us back or anything like that. So, it's okay.
And I think the other thing too is that we can't sleep on is Penn State originally wanted him as the tight end because he's an athletic freak. They wanted to make him into it. He's like, no, I'm a QB. No, I'm a QB. So, like, Penn State eventually was like, all right, like, well, we'll take you as a QB. That's fine. And then But the fact that I guess that we didn't believe him right away, and Auburn was like, "You're a QB, we got you." That had something to do with it too. That we weren't on his quarterback side right away. So that I heard about that as well. So
yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot that, as fans especially, we can do about it.
No,
but
yeah, no hard feelings at all. I mean, yeah, it's cool. Still a PA guy. I'll root for you. You know, you went to Auburn. You didn't go to Michigan or Ohio State. So
yeah.
Jackson Ford.
All right. On to Malvern, PA, 4-star, Jackson Ford, 6'4", 240 already. Big kid. I mean, that's humongous. So, you know, this is another guy that could be a 5-star. So this is another big pickup for us, which is good. Love to see it. So,
yeah, for sure. It was a much needed get because, like I was telling Mark before we started the show, Daniel Jennings. God damn it. Daniel Jennings, the defensive end who reclassified to the 2025 class from West Virginia. We need to fill his spot for the 2026 class. So this is our first true defensive end for this cycle. So we want at least one more, and we'll get one. Tyson Harley's in the mix, so hopefully we can get him. Carter Meadows, 5-star, is probably going to Michigan. It's not over yet, but I'm sure we'll still try. But big pickup for Deion Barnes, man. I mean, you trust Deion Barnes, man. Like just in the couple years that he's been a defensive line coach, he's been a rising star, man. He's a Penn State alum. He was a great player. He's a great coach. So yeah, you trust what he's going to do with him, you know.
Yeah, like I said in the past, you know, he played when I was in school. He was a good player for Penn State.
Yep.
Definitely. One of those guys that tall, lanky guy.
Yep.
You know, he was reliable. You know, didn't make much noise. Just overall good player. So the fact that he's with Penn State is cool. And Franklin's always been about these alumni coming back.
Yep.
Which is one cool thing about Franklin. He's a big alumni guy. I mean, he's a Penn State. Huh?
I was just gonna say nobody does it like Franklin with the alumni working for him, man. It's got to be the best in the country. Nobody else has as many alumni coaching for them. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's not close.
Yeah, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, Franklin was a Pennsylvania quarterback. He is a fan, so you know you pretty much literally have a fan as your coach, which is pretty cool. But at the same time, you know, he's a coach first, but he's also a fan. So like when he's out there coaching, like he's also trying to get his favorite team to win.
Yep.
Which is kind of funny. But at the end of the day, you know, Penn State, regardless of who they get, these guys got to come in, they got to develop. And Franklin definitely develops them. It's just winning big, meaningful games with these guys. And, you know, he's going to do that. It's just one of those things where he's just got to do it, and he will. You know, he'll get over that hump. You know, I've said a million times, like, once Franklin, like, wins that big game, you know, that's it. You know, it's going to be like that. You know, they're going to keep that momentum going. So, that's cool. It's cool to see. Who else we got?
The offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Yep. And I figured out, I think I know how to say his last name, and I can say it without us getting
how do you say it?
So from what I heard off of Blue White Illustrated from not Fitz. Is it Ryan? You know what I'm talking about? The recruiting guy.
Yeah, Sean Fitz. Yeah,
I think it's Ryan. He said it's like books, but with an F, so Fuchs. So this dude Fuchs, man. He Fuchs. Mr. Jack Fuchs. I think that's how you say it. I thought it was Fuchs. Obviously, a lot of fans are just going to say the F word, right? Which I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
We can get, more monetized and stuff. But, yeah, Jack Fuchs, I think is how you say it. So, huge dude, 6'8", around 300 pounds. Fun fact that people might not know, his dad coached with Andy Kotelnicki at Kansas for a couple years. So, that's where the relationship probably started. Dude's from Tennessee. That's pretty cool. We don't really get anybody from Tennessee, so that's different. And right now, his dad is some type of offensive analyst. I forget which NFL team, but he's an NFL coach, some type of coach. I think it's for the Tennessee Titans. That would make sense. Yeah, Tennessee Titans, since he's in Tennessee. So that's a cool little relationship. That Kotelnicki, I don't know if that's what got him in the door completely. We beat out Indiana. We beat out who else was it? Kentucky. That's another school we beat out for this guy. So he's only a 3-star right now. He made a big jump from sophomore to junior year. I think he's still pretty new to football. So yeah, he could climb to a 4-star. It's still early, but even if he doesn't, not worried about it. We trust Coach Troutwine with our life. The dude's been killing it the last couple of years since he's gotten his guys in here. Olu Fashanu was a 3-star, so the stars don't really matter. What else is his name? Our right tackle who got hurt last year. I'm drawing a blank. Crap. Remember that God damn, I can't think of the name right now. It's driving me nuts.
I don't.
Remember the right?
Donka?
Huh? Anthony Donka, yeah. Anthony Donka was a 3-star. Most people don't even know that, and he's probably our best offensive lineman. And he was a redshirt freshman last year. So, yeah, stars don't matter. These coaches know what they're doing. Huge pickup. This dude Fuchs. So, this dude Fuchs.
Yeah. He, again, he could be a big time prospect for us.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that, again, could climb in the star rankings. I mean, historically, these guys come in and they, they do well.
Yep.
I mean, they come in, they develop, they go to the NFL. Obviously, the higher star status, the better. But Donka, again, another guy, 3-star guy, came in and developed. So it's not the most important thing, but generally, as we've seen in recent history, is these guys come in and then they develop into a higher star guy. So, that is one thing about it. One thing to keep in mind is that these guys can't climb. So some people see that on paper and they're like, oh, well, that's a 3-star guy. He's not that good or whatever. And, that's just not the case. Franklin's one of the best developers of talent in the country. Like, for example, Ohio State and Ryan Day. For example, Ryan Day in Ohio State, like, that guy's a disciple of Urban Meyer, who, that guy brought people in. I mean, he was a phenomenal coach, one of my favorite coaches. A lot of people don't like him because of certain things, and that's fine. I get it, but one of the best college coaches of all time. and Ryan Day's a disciple of that. So Ryan Day had a lot of, not to take anything away from Ryan Day, but he had a lot of guidance, a lot of help. I mean, when you coach for one of the best coaches of all time, that certainly helps.
He's top 5, yeah.
I mean, like Larry Johnson, Larry Johnson coached for Joe Paterno. I mean, he's one of the best coaches of all time for a reason. He learned from the best to ever walk the face of the earth. I mean, that's the most famous coach to ever walk the face of the earth in any sport is Joe Paterno. So when you have a guy like Larry Johnson, who's one of the probably the best at any level at his position, there's some people behind that were a part of that. And Ryan Day brings in this great talent and he develops it, which is awesome. But, look at who he learned from. So Franklin, he didn't have that. He didn't really have anybody that he's coached under in college that he learned from, particularly that's super famous or super well known. And, he brings these guys in and he really develops them. So that's, that credit goes to Franklin 100%. That, he's able to do that. But yeah, these guys, regardless of what their starts, I mean, they don't really get anybody like below a 3-star. You know what I mean? So
no.
That's just
they wouldn't be a take. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would go to Akron.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one thing I do want to say too, that made me so sick when Larry Johnson went to Ohio State. Like, out of all the schools he could have went to, man, like he could have went anywhere, and he went. I just, it made me sick for a long time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just, I'm sure most fans, diehard fans, felt the same way. But it is what it is at this point, and we got a good one now, so it's cool. We got Deion Barnes, so not mad about it.
Yeah. There's no doubt that this is a high upside play. He's a Piper athlete. This is an evaluation that could pay dividends in a couple years.
Yep.
So, again, we get another guy.
Yep.
So, you can't beat it.
I had 2 other players to touch on quick here.
If you want me to pull it up.
I'm sending you the post from Hayes Fawcett because he's the big guy, of course. So that was today, and then I'll send you yesterday's. These are guys that we were kind of in the mix for, so I'll talk about it. But there's always good and bad news, so we can go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I sent you those. So.
What, they're going to Ohio State, you think?
No, they committed to yesterday and today, but we were in the mix, so I wanted to. Yeah, so this one was weird. So Cam Brickle from Philadelphia committed to Ohio State today. He's a 3-star defensive tackle. My sources said that he wasn't a take for Penn State. So Penn State, they just didn't really want him that bad, right? So the fact that Ohio State wanted him, and then not only like somewhat wanted him, but then took his commitment was it was interesting, right? Because, I mean, Ohio State, you wouldn't think that they would take a guy that we didn't fully want. So I thought that was interesting. I thought it was weird too how it says on there that he chose Ohio State over Maryland and Florida State. Didn't even mention Penn State, but I think that's because he wasn't a take for us. But this is the one that kind of hurt a little bit. This was yesterday. Damari Simon, we talked about him a couple weeks ago. I spoke about him a few times. Him and Keyshawn Stansel visited Penn State on the same weekend. who Keyshawn Stansel committed to Clemson today, which I knew that was happening. I saw that coming because he's from North Carolina, so he's a Carolina guy. But Damari Simon, a New Jersey guy. New Jersey, Penn State, and Ohio State always battle it out for New Jersey guys because they're not like they're the same distance from each state, really, if you think about it. You know what I mean? The East Coast right there. So Damari Simon's a good pickup for them. It's a guy that Penn State really did want. And it says it came down to Penn State, Texas, and Michigan, but it really came down to Penn State and Ohio State. So they got one over on us on this one. Like I said, Cam Brickle wasn't a take for us, so that one not really worried about. But this one would have been nice to get him. It's not over. I don't really have any names right now of who we're in the mix for because a couple of our guys went off the board, but Penn State will figure it out. There's plenty of time. They'll find a diamond in the rough like they always do. So we already have 2 defensive tackles committed for this class, so I think they want at least one more, trying to stack up because the defensive line that we have this year for the defensive tackle room, Zane Durant's moving on, Alonzo Ford will be moving on, so we'll have a bunch of young guys. So we're trying to stack the room again. So just wanted to bring that up, but I mean, yeah, Ohio State got a good one there, so good. That's nice for them. Good for them.
Yeah.
Can't win them all.
I guess there's not a whole lot to talk about, but we're 88 overall in the game, 91 on offense, 94 on defense.
Which is crazy because I don't know how the defense is 3 points. You know what I mean? Doesn't make sense. The defense shouldn't be 3 points better than our offense. I think they should be like even, or the offense could even take it. I think the offense could be better than our defense this year, like I was telling you before. So, I mean, still a good rating, but top 4 in the game. So, take it.
Yeah. I mean, the special teams is 80, which is why it's 88 overall. But yeah, man, like I swear to God, like if we don't win a national title this year, it's never going to happen. Penn State doesn't get the respect they should. And yeah, so once they win a national title, there will still be people that don't respect us, which is fine. But yeah, it's like, I mean, Alabama's number 1 in that game,
which is
Texas 2, Ohio State is 3.
I don't.
But
know
Ohio
why.
State's an 88 too.
I don't know why Alabama's won. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't.
We got to stay healthy, but we're not going to get that respect until. I mean, the biggest game Franklin's won outright was like the Rose Bowl against Utah.
Yeah.
But besides that, dude, like he hasn't. It's crazy that he hasn't won. He's 3-17 against the top 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
But it's always the same teams too. So I mean, it's the whole stat. It's a garbage stat to begin with because it's a true stat. But when almost all those games were against Michigan or Ohio State, it's not like he's going out there and losing to everybody, right? It's the same teams. So yeah, you got to get over the hump. But if it was like a whole slew of teams, it'd be a different story. But it's just the mental gap with the Ohio. It's mental, man. That's all it is. And mentally, they're getting stronger. They're getting closer. It's just those little plays, man. Even in 2017 and 18, man, like 1-point losses. We were winning by double digits in I think both of those games, and then the defense crapped the bed. Like I don't know, man. But our defense wasn't as good back then. So now our defense is carrying, and it's our offense that was struggling. So that's why we got 3 receivers in the portal. So they have to figure it out, and they have to figure it out right now. They have to. Like you said, it has to happen right now. If it doesn't, it won't ever happen. Or if it does happen, it's going to be a couple years until there's a shot for it to happen because we're going to go through we can reload some positions, right? Like we can reload running back, we can reload offensive linemen, we can reload defensive players. There's a couple other positions that might take a year or two to get back on track, and it is what it is. But with the way college football is now, it's going to be more widespread across the field. So we can still go in the portal and get a couple needs that we need, like whatever position that, next year that we feel might be a little bit lighter, we can go and get some guys. We already know we can. And I wanted to say quick about Notre Dame. I forgot to say this when we were talking about Franklin. If you guys don't think that James Franklin is the best developer of talent that he gets, then you're out of your mind, because there's nobody who does it better than James Franklin and his staff for the guys that he brings in that puts them into the NFL and makes them future stars. So
Yeah.
If you disagree, then you're in complete denial and you're more delusional than I already thought, which was already very delusional. So, yeah.
Well, Saban was on another level, but he's not coaching anymore. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some of the guys were saying that Marcus Freeman is better than Franklin, which is, man, it's
Dude's
crazy.
been coaching
Some
for
of
a
the stuff-
couple of years. That's not even factual.
Some of the people were absolutely out of their minds. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame fans that comment on our stuff, not all of them, 99% of them are complete morons.
Yeah.
So, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I mean, there's some other stuff like college football wise, but we don't really need to talk about it. There's really not much else.
It's basically recruiting right now for the next month or so, and then there's going to be a lot of preseason hype, with just once July and like August hit, like it's going to be a lot of new information coming out of fall camp and how Penn State's doing, how other teams are doing. We can talk about other teams once. I think that would be a good idea once preseason comes, and we can talk about the Big Ten, what it's shaping out to be. We can kind of look at it and see who might be a sleeper team in the Big Ten, like Washington, right? Like Washington might be decent this year, man. Like they got a good quarterback. They got a couple good players in the portal. Just teams that you wouldn't think of, but if you look at what they're doing, Jed Fish in year 2, he's a good coach.
Yeah.
So, we can talk about the Big Ten and what it has to offer, and we can talk about how it's better than the SEC and how they're just going to beat each other up like they did last year. And yeah, there'll be a lot of good stuff to talk about here in a couple of months.
Yeah, we're going to do like our favorite all-time roster, like go through the years and pick our favorite players or position groups, do the worst all time. So like our least favorite.
Yep. All name team. Yep. We'll do that.
Yeah. Favorite and least favorite. We're going to break down each position group when it's closer to the season.
Yeah.
So like we do every year. So, but besides that, that's all I got. So
same.
We will see you guys next week. And we'll be covering this all summer. So stay tuned. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. And, we're up over 600 again, 600 plus.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Rumble is growing too. So keep it coming. I got merch made. I got polos and mugs. So, eventually I'm going to sell them. Once we get to 3,000 watch hours, then we can create a store, which I'll be doing. So, keep watching the show. We're at 1,057 right now. So got to get to 3,000. YouTube, man, like YouTube, it's not that good. Rumble's better, but I started it on YouTube, so I'm going to keep it going. But YouTube is YouTube's crazy when it comes to what you got to do just to be monetized. So support us on Rumble too, because eventually we'll be full time on there, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just a better platform. So, all right, we'll read this, then we'll get off. One thing I hope EA updates the team in the game is the middle of
the season.
One thing I hope EA update the team in the game in the middle of the season, because I think Florida State is at 88. Yeah. I hope if a coach gets fired or something, they replace them, stuff like that. So yeah, it's a good point, Kate.
Yeah, they'll be updated.
hope you subscribe, support the channel, man. All right, guys, have a good night.
Yep. Have a
And
good night, guys.
we'll catch you on the next one.